Hello everyone, welcome to Don't Eat the Cashier. That's the title of this game, Don't Eat the Cashier. Not sure why the title isn't on the main menu, but okay. So you landed a job at a gas station. Hey, sounds spooky enough. But what's even spookier, is the fact that the customers are literal monsters. So good luck! Good luck to us. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of not that I dream of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other hand, money is money. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. Zero responses. Degree in art? Art? I thought you wanted to be a neurosurgeon or astronaut. What? I had to swallow my pride and find at least something. Human organism wanted for work at gas station. Organism duties include selling food for mouth, silence and obedience, household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient, friendly team offers, new and old faces of friends, long and different life consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips to human places. I found this note stuck to the glass of the bus stop. Food for mouth? Seriously? The guy's got a style of his own. Apparently, the manager is just an eccentric dude, or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Whatever, people often told me that I have my quirks too, and that's even if they haven't seen my fursuit. Well, whatever, as long as he's not a complete jerk who'll hit on me or make me scrub the floors with a tool, bruh. What's this? Whoa! I didn't scream, I couldn't move. My brain feverishly tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination, psychosis, too many energy drinks, a typical middle manager. The monster from my nightmare stirred, its tentacles crept closer to the counter. My god! The creature made a sound, not from her mouth. It had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk, hollow, profound, bone-shaking. Greetings, organism. I am Boop, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds. But you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Rule number 1, you sell, no matter what, chicken food for mouth, gremlin fuel, noodles made from cursed souls, lottery tickets for extra limb raffles, discount rot, ritual foil, everything must be sold. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself but didn't wake up. Rule number 2, be polite to customers, ignore bald spots in werewolf fur, and watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency, and they should only pay in monetary units. Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted. Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It is also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they can't give away currency. Werewolves, what the hell are you anyway? Hold back, excuse me dear sir, you seem to have mentioned werewolf and ectoplasm. Werewolf, what are you anyway? Aha! It seemed like all the jars with mysterious contents started to shake because of my despair. At last, human! A human who knows the proper greeting protocol. Your vocal outburst demonstrates a high level of respect for the hierarchy. Your predecessor, Kevin, just mumbled and then unsanctionedly excreted tear fluid. Werewolf and ectoplasmic entity are just a few examples of this of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity. I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. This is all you need to know. That really is all I need to know. I fear any more knowledge will surely drive me insane. Yep. For the first time, something resembling approval flickered across Bob's many-eyed face. A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Embrace your ignorance. Let it become your shield and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month. And what does the Human Employee of the Month get? A cash bonus of 25 cents. Is that a lot? I understand that you human are already extremely excited about this, but that's not all. You will also have access to the elite manager's restroom for one full work cycle. Ew. During its use, there is only a 7% chance that you will be transported to a dimension of endless pain, suffering, and unimaginable torment. Thanks. Truly generous. He suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule, remember, organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle. If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years. I couldn't take my eyes off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I'm being threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract. My ocular sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap, I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap. Do you understand, organism? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acceptable. Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. Yes. No pressure at all. It's not like we have a harsh punishment ahead of us if we mess this up. Well, never mind. Here's my resignation, boss. Bye-bye. I'm going on vacation. I think I'd rather be unemployed. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, boss. Could you show me how exactly do I press the buttons? Point at the buttons on the vending machine. Yes, I think I can handle this perfectly. I point at the sticky buttons on the vending machine. Bob's central eye looks at my finger, then at the machine, then back at my face. The creature sighs. A tentacle extends from his body with torturous slowness. With the drama of a pianist playing the last tragic note, the tip of the tentacle presses down. Click. Bob waits expectantly. What? Press that button? Didn't get it. The tentacle presses the button again. This time even twice. I'm too stupid, man. I didn't get it, boss. Can you show me again? It seems like he's about to have an aneurysm from rage, and that's despite not having a circulatory system. The button is pressed repeatedly, the clicks merging into a furious, thundering rhythm of pure anger. It seems like he might explode any moment now. What if I choose didn't get it? Outrageous creature! How do you intend to sell goods if even the concept of a button is too complex for your understanding? My teaching method was perfect. I refuse to believe such an ethereal level of stupidity exists. You're mocking me, creature. Don't you dare pull such jokes again. It takes him a moment to regain his composure. He mutters something almost inaudibly about why me, it seems so, or why this planet specifically. This concludes the briefing. You have shown a tendency towards excessive vocalization, so I'll give you a warning. Do not raise your voice at visitors unless they like it. He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction with a soft gurgling sound, and he waddled across the linoleum. Okay, can I load? Yeah, I'm gonna load again. Okay. I actually didn't want this choice. I'm just curious what the dialogue would be. I definitely got it. Try to take care of your head, creature. It's strongly recommended you avoid hitting it against hard surfaces to preserve your remaining intellectual capabilities. This concludes the briefing. You've shown a vocalization. Okay, yeah. Okay. Have a good day, boss. Have a good day, boss. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators containing juicy juices and the buzzing of the neon lamp above my head. I stood in the same spot as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. My hands were shaking. The tip jar which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so what just happened? Option 1, I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yes, that's it. I'm gonna wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again and nothing. I scanned the room once more. It smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real. And that meant everything he said, it was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat. But I held it back. I need to get through this. I needed to. Oh no, don't tell me that's the first customer. Welcome, sir. Bells? What the hell? Welcome, sir. Shit! Okay. Good evening, sir. How may I serve you, sir? Where the hell did this clown come from? It took great effort not to look away from those red eyes burning in the pitch black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. Okay. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. Please don't eat me. I'm just a miserable, tasteless cashier. Isn't it strange that you can't just appear with the sound of a creepy piano, sir? Isn't it strange that I work at a gas station for a couple of bucks, yet you are the one who wears the jester's hat? Alright, good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase? Purchase? I would like to purchase your attention. That would be $100, sir, for each second. I suppose that's free. It's sort of included in the service package. I suppose it's free, make a wink, but only for you, sir. You're lucky, esteemed sir. My attention is on sale today. I'm not sure that's on the sales list. However, there's plenty of other things. What would you like to purchase? I'm just gonna click this one. Ah yes, that's why I'm here. Another corner of the universe. Amazingly, people live here too, and they trade as well. Yet, well, there's nothing to be surprised of. If you think about it, I expected something more interesting. At least a world of lizards and ancient descendants from Hyperborea battling them. My god, another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. And it seems he's in the mood for a chat. Okay. Click my time is worth money, clown. So what is a beautiful lady like you doing in such a dreadful dirty island of misfortune? Wait, I'm a girl? I'm a lady? Okay. Nice to know, I guess. I thought I'm a monster as well. Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a beautiful lady as you? Oh wait, where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely lady. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King, a title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. However, my mortal mother named me Darren. Darren. Now, may I have your hand? Sorry, my mother told me not to offer my hand to strangers or any parts of me, sir. Oh, your highness. He bursts into genuine booming laughter. Your mother was truly a wise woman. Yes. Now, that would be $12,000. You wasted 12 minutes of my time. A masterful stroke of self-preservation. I haven't been rebuffed so delightfully well in at least a century. Others prefer to use an enchanted sword or swords or pitchforks. They forget that words can wound too. Perhaps I can still melt your heart. I have an eternity for that, literally. May I know your name? I refuse to reveal my true name. Demons always do terrible things with them. My name is Diana, but my friends call me Big D. Big D? Your friends call you Big D? Or they would if I had any. My name is Diana, sir. My name is Diana. I am also a queen, the queen of the gas station. No thank you. F this guy. Refusal? A rebellion against age-old traditions? My dear lady, your rebellious spirit certainly commands respect. What a pity that the plastic badge on your chest holds a different opinion. Yeah, okay, then why you even bother asking? It's literally there. Lady Diana. Goddamn badges. Well, whatever, I didn't really want it anyway. Whatever, who cares? What a stoicism in the face of such blatant theft. Not my problem. Not my job to give a shit about thieves. Okay, steal it then. We have CCTVs, you know. But what if someone steals your identity? You don't even have a spare one. It's always good to have at least 10 just in case. There are only benefits, plus you always have someone to talk to. Think about it. I wonder if our gas station sells straight jackets. I might need one for myself soon. And another one for my second purse. Okay, stop it. I feel like my brain is turning to jelly. And I don't understand when we'll finally get to the point. Actually, it's not all that bad. We've been talking for 5 minutes, but it feels like an eternity. And I've got to somehow squeeze a tip out of this guy and not lose my mind. Two utterly impossible tasks when dealing with a regular person, let alone another cosmic entity. So let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally. It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. There's nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic shack except for you, so I'm buying your time. Yes, that would be, let's see. That would be $24,000. You wasted 30 minutes of my time. 40 minutes, I mean. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry. Oh no. Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us. I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. You just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump. Or a radioactive dump to my gas station. And the jar is gone, my freaking jar! Looks like my rental apartment, but it seems to smell less now. What a wonderful place for dinner. Radioactive cockroaches on the menu? Put it back where it was in the jar. You don't really like change, do you? But life is ever changing. Life is not a stone, my dear. Life is water. Yes. Oh, ancient Chinese wisdom. Life is like water. Be like water. Adapt and change to anything. Become water. But since you don't like this current, so be it. Let us find something less populated with mutants. The jar, please. I don't want to spend an eternity scrubbing clean something. I can't go along without familiar landscapes. All already ruined lands make me melancholic because all the fun has happened without me. Disgusting. Allow me... This is something seemingly less radioactive. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet, but it feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat, it seems like I'm sitting at a table. Much better, wouldn't you agree? Where's the tip jar? Couldn't be better. It's beautiful here and strange. Is this your home? I prefer the dump. Well, maybe. This is still not my store. Bob will kill me. Don't worry, my dear. Time flows different here. In your cage of capitalism, it's practically at a standstill. No one will disturb us, especially not your evil, beady-eyed squid. Such vile creatures. Squids! I really should turn someone into a squid, or 3 squids, how thrilling. I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming, but it'd be better without that frog with a human face. The frog notices me too. It lets out a sad croak and then looks at me with an expression of deep existential despair. Points at the frog with a human face. Who is that? That's Lorray, one of the brave souls who dared challenge my authority, my dear friend, who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny frog legs, fought to the end, a true warrior. However, his foes are mosquitoes and even bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does he bother you? His little existential froggy crisis, I mean. Is it ruining the ambience? He looks at me with an interested expression. I don't mind. Hold on, I don't want to make a decision yet. What did Lorray do? What did this walking sack of manure do besides trying to kill me? Oh, plenty. He swung a sword blazing with righteous fury or some such nonsense. He dared to come to my home, a world born of my shattered mind, and dictate what the natural order should be. Such an audacious, vile creature. He made such repulsive noises. Clanking, grumbling, shouting, praying, threatening, moralizing. The last part was the hardest to endure. But as it turns out, holiness doesn't prevent frogification or cherryfication. I found various uses for Lorray over the years of our friendship. Oh, the fall of the great Lorray, the funniest Tuesday of this century. A Tuesday filled with pomp, irony, and croaking. Alright, I guess I'd also turn someone who tried to kill me into a frog. Maybe you could break the spell, perhaps he's learned his lesson. Got it. Good, understanding is the first step. The next is complete misunderstanding, my absolute favorite. Actually, sir, I actually don't give a shit. Can you send me back to my gas station? I'd rather be there now. I'd rather be there and earn paycheck. Yeah, right. You still haven't paid me for my attention. Ah yes, I believe we were discussing the fate of this frog. He looks at me with an interested expression. I don't mind, Lorray. You don't mind? Excellent. I think he really sets the tone for the whole clearing, aesthetically. A living monument to the consequences of poor life choices. Lorray, did you hear that? The lady grants you a stay of execution. You may continue your pitiful mosquito-infested existence. So dinner, I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities must be exhausting. What's on the menu? This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey, and next to the meat a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poison or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too. So I picked up a fork from the table, and this This is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than these cheap instant noodles I usually buy in supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite. Seems you enjoy our cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well on those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner. At least not for the first half hour after the meal. This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier. Why are you doing all this? The dinner that teleports all that? Thank you for the food on my plate not staring back at me. Yes, thank you. You are very kind. Thank you for the food on my plate not staring back at me. Thank you. You're very kind, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm merely hospitable. I'm delighted to share a meal with a dear guest who clearly appreciates good food. Say, what are we eating though? But I suppose cheap Chinese noodles will make you appreciate anything. Please eat your fill. And don't hesitate to stash what you don't eat in your pockets. It will give you an exquisite aroma and provide a few interesting mysterious stains. I poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. Don't ask silly questions, return to eating. What's your favorite animal? Fuck it, I don't care, just eat. Fewer words, fewer chances of catching a deadly magic projectile or something worse. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? My fork freezes halfway. Uh-oh. Why the hell is there human flesh on my plate? Swallow with difficulty. Yes, thank you, quite tender. Not as tasty as the one I had the day before. Chew while looking him in the eye. You're the law here. Okay. I think this is the part where we possibly die. Why the hell is there human flesh on my plate? Bravo! Righteous anger is a wonderful seasoning for any dinner. Calm down, my beautiful. Fiery fury, it's just a little joke. It's just venison, as far as I can tell by taste. Not very intelligent. It's definitely not Timmy, our carpenter who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron. Perfectly sized to fit in, definitely not. I've personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition. But that's beside the point. I rarely have visitors and I'd like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, it's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to perform at the master's whim. Behold this incredibly crooked castle, my dear, crooked to the point of absurdity. Sadly, in reality, its curves look far more aesthetic, but give the creator some leeway for his expressiveness. Many brave and not so bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle, so many that it became even more crooked. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties. Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection or concocting recipes with raisins. So far, the scariest is the presence of raisins. What a terrifying monster. Listen silently, who cares? Let him rant, as long as he pays me for the attention in the end. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons and others that they were grains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away. And he demanded they seal the gaps in the doors as well. He locked wizards who came for him who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. Who won, the pigeons or the grain? My lovely lady, it wasn't a war, but rather a true paranoid masterpiece, a ballet of survival. For a glorious week, my ballroom was the stage for a feathered, cooing apocalypse. Pigeons flocked into huge, proud groups, occupying high places on chandeliers and bookshelves. Grains learned to hide under rugs, pretend to be lifeless, and attack only when the pigeon turned away. There were alliances, betrayal, a seed that fell in love with a pigeon. Nothing topped this story that year, nor was anything worse, but I digress. But behold, a ray of light in the dark kingdom. The first hero, Sir Lorry the Righteous, in all his clanging self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health of his poor back. Oh my god, how long is this gonna go on for? Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects to... By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders, or their suspenders, or lamenting their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Anyway, it doesn't matter, they were probably the most restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair. The Grotto of Tentacles, imagine the most sinister name you can conjure. The Grotto of Kidney Stones. Grotto of my parents' disappointment in me. A Grotto of Kidney Stones. The dreadful imperfect human body. The worst affliction is having them in your kidneys. What a joy, and now I can choose how many I have. I prefer a negative number. But let's not get sidetracked. Into the Grotto of Kidney Stones, our hero descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. A ring of incredible power. A bit shoddily crafted, but I assure you, it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440 pounds weight. That was its only magical property. Okay, so it's a pig ring, a fat pig ring. Is it just me, or does the ring's face looks like a pig's nose? I'm just saying, man. Just saying. The only incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and the sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero, just to get some sleep. Well, it broke his poor, noble mind. Not that his mind was ever intended for serious burdens. Nod meaningfully, waiting for him to continue. So the night perished. But then along came Elmer Eagle Eye. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the third day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot. Constantly during breakfast, while bathing, at balls, during sleep, and even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity. I hate just killing them. Turning them into madmen was much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. I made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. Elmer was a terrible racist. He hated dwarfs. So naturally, the melody became the national anthem of the dwarfs, played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra. The pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court, in exchange for changing the song to anything else. He was desperate, and I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now, he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf marches replaced with a lively elven sea shanty, and let no one dare accuse me of being callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. You missed the opportunity to change his dwarf to dwarf serenades. A happy ending, right? For me, absolutely. I've never had such a good hunter in my life. I never quite figured out where he gets all those species of animals, but no matter. And finally, the witch, in a classic giant hat, under which you could easily fit another witch. She tried a different approach, seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse, a fatal miscalculation. She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big hats or people, especially when both come hand in hand. And those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't earn the trust of His Highness. Then again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain, especially on Thursdays. But back to hats. Hats don't evoke any particular feelings in me. I hate big hats too. You are my kindred spirit. Those hats are so pretentious, so self-assured. They block the view, getting stuck in doorways and always hint that the wearer is compensating for something. Usually a lack of magical talent or a pitiful personality, and that's on a good day. You, my dear Diana, have impeccable taste in headwear and consequently in everything else. It's a scientifically proven fact. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon, and you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written, so I offer you the pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours, Diana. What punishment befits her? What, does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? But does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway. But as long as I play the circus monkey, I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain him? Damn, what should I do? Turn her into a hat, a small one. I refuse to decide her fate. I think the craziest thing would be to spare her. No one would expect that. Turn her into a hat. The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd it's beautiful. So be it, let her be a small cap of eternal regret. She tried to get into my head and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Something's missing from this tale. You never told me about the monster itself. Dear, who cares about these monsters anyway? I do. If monsters are the muck, then I'm the pig, you see. Never mind. The shadows finally dissolve into nothingness. I just turned a living being into a hat, or rather became the catalyst for it. I wonder what kind of nightmares are warranted in such a case. I'm afraid royal duties await me. Our time is up. I shall send you back, Diana. I rise from the chair. I squeeze my eyes shut. The light is blinding even with my eyes closed, so unusual after all this darkness. The jar is empty. That jerk didn't leave me any tips. He nearly drove me crazy and didn't even leave money. God damn it! You goddamn clown! I spent all my attention for nothing. No money at all. What a jerk. Greetings, organism. How is your work progressing? I don't know how much time has passed since we talked to the clown. I see the first transaction. Fail! Report immediately how this happened, organism. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know how to deal with the mentally ill. The client tried to pay with existential dread. Can I quit? Actually, alright, boss. I quit. I resign. You suck. Your pay is shit. Your looks are shit. Everything about you is shit. This store is shit. And you have the audacity to ask this after such a grand failure? No. The employment contract is enforceable in all known and unknown realities. Breach of contract will result in punishment as previously stated by me. Continue working. I leave in extreme displeasure with you, and I hasten to remind you of the threat of punishment again. You don't have many chances left to fill this jar before the end of your wake cycle. Goodbye, Mr. Manager. My mind departs from you and the organic form follows. Okay. Okay, have a good time, sir. Have a good time. Time to load. Alright, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know how to deal with the mentally ill. The client tried to pay with existential dread. Ah, yes, that particular currency. The exchange rate is terrible and it's very difficult to deposit into an interdimensional bank. Always too many bureaucratic complications. So it's also your task to dissuade them from this method of payment and make them pay with regular currency. Continue working. I leave in extreme displeasure with you. Goodbye, Mr. Manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautifully at this time of day. Don't even try to use primate flattery to distract me from your blatant incompetence. The aesthetic quality of my appendages has no bearing on your inability to extract money from a paying client. However, it is noted. Goodbye. What a jerk. He didn't even leave me a tip. He didn't even pay me for the compliment. He slaps across the floor to his office. As soon as Bob's rhythmic wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends on the station. One moment I'm in a surreal forest dining on purple goo with a mad god. The next moment I'm being scolded by a multi-eyed tentacle monster. Maybe these are all just my deathbed hallucinations. I'm going insane. Some part of me enjoys these mad adventures. God, give me back my bills, my noodles, my arguments with strangers on the internet. Okay, this one. My beautiful, monotonous, bland life. I was foolish not to appreciate it. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanates from my boss's office. Unfair bills! Unacceptably large numbers! Of course, what else could upset him so much if not that? Steps, another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. He seems unwell. I hope he doesn't knock over my shelves of shampoo with jojoba oil and delicate lilies on his way. He's not just unwell, he looks like hell. Literally, all the skin on the left side is torn off from his jaw to the temple. I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to be the next victim. You look like the Terminator at the end of the second movie, buddy. The Terminator who just wrecked my entire floor. Give him a thumbs up. How's life, sir? Well, it's hard to imagine how the other fighter looks. When will the Lord take my sinful soul? Break down in tears. You don't want to work here anymore. How's life, sir? Effing awesome, like a fairy tale. Thanks for asking. He would dramatically light a cigarette and stare into the void right now, but it seems like he doesn't have the strength for that anymore. But he clearly wants to. I do too, considering that I don't smoke. This profession is gonna drive me crazy one day. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man without half a face. He clears his throat, but that doesn't help much. I need blood. He tried to smile. It would be charming if he still had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. The client pauses again briefly to clear his throat. Mine? Don't kill me. I'm already having a bad streak in life. We don't do transfusions here. No IV drips, just discount rot. How about tomato juice, strong vintage? Let me see what we have. We don't do IV drips. If you don't stop annoying me, no effing transfusion will help you. He suddenly leans forward, boring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. Go and find the damn blood. Go and find the damn blood. A strange pressure builds in my head, and the edges of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood right now. My client is covered in blood but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something inedible, or is it his own? I found myself in a storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves, reaching up to the ceiling stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and snorted suspiciously. So, where could the blood be? I need to think fast. He's not gonna wait forever. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Go to the section supply foaming body washes. Go to the section items that inspire pensiveness. Go to the food for mouth section. I'm pretty sure it's there. These signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging, and even in front of the department entrances, there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscriptions. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Food afraid of heat, infused in nutritional flows, dense energy blocks for chewing. Infused in nutritional flows, I suppose. Here are endless shelves of drinks. Next to Coca-Cola are bottles labeled Liquid Regret and Primordial Broth, now with nucleotides. Cans labeled Brapsy, Vodka, Solneshko. I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I check each shelf, pushing aside cans of essence of shits and giggles, but find nothing resembling blood. The closest thing is liquid hematogen in a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. I go back, I hear knocking. It's the dry, rhythmic tapping of knuckles on a laminated countertop. It's not loud, but it's persistent and full of irritation. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Dense energy blocks, I suppose. This aisle is crammed with chips, pasta, crackers, jerky, and chocolate bars. All the usual stuff, if you don't look too closely. Next to the Dorito bags lies a pack of crystallized whales, resembling translucent stone lollipops. Cans of peas huddled together in fear as I pass by another shelf, nervously glancing around. I quickly scan the shelves. There's no blood here unless you count the dried stain on the nutritional bricks package. I need to go back. Maybe it's about regeneration or something else. But he seems better because I hear impatient footsteps. Great, now he's fidgeting. He can't sit still anymore. This isn't just impatience, it's anxiety. And I don't really like where this anxiety could lead him. I need to hurry. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. The coldest corner of the store. Large freezer chests and refrigerators with doors are now covered in frost. Next to the frozen pizza are gremlin cryo capsules, and among the buckets of ice cream, you can find flavors like minty, tritium, and liquid family. Oh my god, a huge freeze chamber. Product of animal fauna exploitation with fruit pieces, matter of lesser life forms, spare parts of human organism. That should be it, right? This section reeks of formaldehyde and horror. Glass jars filled with murky liquids sit on the shelves where exhibits float. I try not to think about one of the containers holding a name tag that reads Kevin. Take Kevin, blood of human organism, Kevin, taste of unfulfilled dreams and unwarranted expectations. Take blood of human organism, homeless, high content of cheap alcohol and tuberculosis. Blood of human organism, Michael. The taste of efficient resource and artifact accumulation. Efficient resource. This one, I guess. The blood in this jar has a rich, almost glowing ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Michael, whoever you are on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You are probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And yet here you are in a jar. That there is something to ponder. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach. You could have hurried up. He grumbles, but his tone reveals that he feels a relief. The search could have taken even longer. Now hand over that damn blood. Client finishes the jar and then grimaces. Ah, for crying out loud, what the hell is this crap? He reads the notes on the jar. Michael, well, you are a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, a successful career, a retirement account, and this jerk probably never even had cockroaches. At least he's now liquid Michael in a jar. Stay silent. Cool that you found human blood. Good job, you're sharp. Glad to please you, sir, and glad you no longer want to eat me. Feel free to ask. It took longer to get to the rat. He gives me a crooked smile from his newly restored rogue-like face. I'm gonna wash my dirty face, don't get bored. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the blood stains. I'm just scrubbing a pool of blood on my first day at work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm doing just fine. Nobody has eaten me. He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression resembles that of a constipated owl. I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. And just so you know, if you want to contact the werewolves, I'll take your head and crush it like a walnut. I'm David, by the way, a vampire, and as you may have already guessed. Very cool, sir. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance, especially that part about the walnut. I'm Crystal, like champagne. Nice to meet you, Diana. Okay, Diana. I knew a Diana once. She used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. She was a good girl until she got packed up. He's trying to provoke me, deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I can get. I suppose I'm also selling some kidneys now. Check the catalog. Yes, exactly 10 categories. No kidneys for you. Wow, I don't know how I'll survive this. Probably harder to survive this than working in this place. See, he struck a nerve. No offense, but I think I know every place in this city where you can buy a kidney. It's doubly crappy and I don't need them anymore, unless I want to sell them too. Now I have a vampire here and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. I need to be friendly. Are you sure you're a vampire, not a chupacabra? They drink blood too. Since when do vampires wear leather jackets? Don't you guys prefer capes and ruffles anymore? Thanks for not eating me, David. In reality, you're still a bit shaken from what just happened. Stay silent. Stay silent. Say nothing. Silently wipe the counter. Chupacabra. What the hell kind of question is that? What's wrong with you? You seriously don't know the difference between a vampire and a chupacabra? Chupacabras are mindless animals that run on four legs. They scare farmers in Texas. They eat goats. I don't know, they bark and they stink. I stink too, but that's because it's dirt from the battlefield. There's a difference. He says this with the look of a professor. And they definitely can't talk. Do I have four legs, fur, maybe a damn goat in my teeth, or did I run in on four legs with a goat in my mouth? No, you know why? Because you're not a chupacabra. Right on the money, my mother effer, I'm not a chupacabra. I think what bothers him the most is that a chupacabra is small. He clearly wants to be a big and cool creature. Have you ever seen a chupacabra, smart guy? Alright, you're not a chupacabra. Yeah, glad we finally cleared that up. I think I won't tell him that I still have some lingering doubts. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand. Damn mutts. Probably not all the wounds have healed completely, but does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? I think Bob said it was mandatory. Point at the wound. I don't want to help you, but my employment contract requires me to treat the creatures that come here. point at the wound. Let me help. He looks at me skeptically. The offer of help is probably so foreign and unexpected to him that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded. You what? You wanna play nurse? A flicker of confusion is replaced by something more intense. It's just a couple of scratches and a little piece of ass that will grow back on its own. I'm fine. If you don't let yourself be treated, my boss will lock us both in a dimension of horror where we'll be cleaning toilets with a fork for 2,000 years. I see you're afraid of doctors, huh? Say conciliatorily, you mentioned werewolves. It's probably not just a scratch. Let me try to help, okay? Okay, let me treat you, otherwise my boss will trap me. Really? And how am I supposed to clean with a fork? And why such a ridiculous amount of time? Is there that much cosmic crap in there? His voice carries a clear mockery. He's about to say something even more sarcastic when suddenly Bob has returned to his accounts. The sounds he makes still fill my soul with dread. Probably not just mine. Finally, the forks and toilets break through the last layer of his defenses. Alright, I've spent my whole life in complete crap. I don't want to spend the next 2 millennia there too. Damn you, go ahead. Get out your band-aids with Dr. Chukula or whatever you're selling. David sheds his jacket, shirt and t-shirt, then settles onto a squeaky stool next to the counter. He's about to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hasn't made him claw-proof. He certainly looks like he was just thrown into a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, he has quite an interesting past. Or maybe he was attacked by a werewolf cowboys with guns. Most likely the former. By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. I thought the only doctor available to me now is the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. It's a heavy military style metal box with a faded label reading Kit for Alternatively Living Organisms. Okay. Inside, besides standard bandages, there are some strange items. Silver tweezers, vials of thick glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course, an instruction manual. A cheap laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instructions, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie, ask your alternatively living subject if they ever wanted to eat someone's brain. David is clearly not a zombie. Move on to the next point. He glances skeptically at the pictures flashing in the instructions as I flip it over. Zombies, necromancers, abominations made of bones, flesh, and cabbage swirl in front of his face like a mesmerizing kaleidoscope. And all of this lives in the city sewers. I don't know how you're gonna use bathrooms now. It would be great if you didn't notice that. Why do I have to deal with all this? I steal a glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up, or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something out of the Stone Age, suggests that he could have. The guy has a killer's gaze. You will see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. I lower my eyes. Next point, let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wounds could werewolves leave? It seems the damage was psychological. Tell me about your tragic past as it says in the handbook. It's simple. You've got lacerations, claws, teeth, and a bit of saliva, possibly very contagious. David listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal of valor. Something like that. He said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Stroke his ego, add at the end. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy. Shake your head. You really need to stop with these fights. They won't lead to anything good. Stop medical discussion and just move on to the next point. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy. I'm dying of laughter. He chuckles happily, trying to hide a glimmer of pride behind humor, but I won't be fooled. David is no longer just a wounded sucker, he's a true gladiator, having survived a battle with rabid beasts. Absolutely epic. I'm only saying that so he could leave a tip in the jar. I read through what medication I need and grabbed the regenerating extract for alternatively living life forms. Now all that's left is to apply this stuff. I dip my fingers in the jar and... Suddenly he grabs my hand. Do something wrong and I'll rip your tonsils out through your ass. Tonsils? If you touch me, my boss will rip your soul and out through your ass. You know, you have this fantastic talent for coming up with threats. You should write scripts for action movies. No way, I'm a pathetic, miserable, harmless cashier. You should be in an action movie. Well, I suppose it's just a matter of experience, probably. And you, well, watch what you're doing, or there will be consequences. It seems he just heard the best compliment of his life. I apply this black goo to the wound. A puff of steam rises from the wound. The air starts to smell like something is frying. It's probably very painful, but David remains calm, not a single complaint, which is surprising. I hope it's not from your squid manager. Well, we all hope for that, buddy. Be more careful. My movements become slow and deliberate. I do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the wound, allowing him to get used to the sting. I could see the tense muscles in his back and shoulders relax slightly. He's still wound up, but relief is starting to wash over him. Naturally, no thank yous or pleases from him, but at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my ass every 5 seconds. Distract him with conversation. You know, David, every noble knight needs someone to tend his wounds after great battles. Every noble knight needs someone to tend his wound. Finish in dark silence. I finish up. Surprisingly, the wounds really are healing. The scars won't beautify this man. Why are you doing all this? The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. Because it's my job, man. Did you forget? I'll be sentenced to cleaning with a fork if I don't do my job proper. He's driving me crazy, even more than that clown from earlier, it seems. I just wanna help. Lie, you want tips and to go home. Play The Sims and watch stupid shows. I just wanna help. Truth, you're an angel of mercy from the dirty gas station. First one, screw that. His social skills are terrible. He probably doesn't realize that I lied to him. Judging by the wrinkle between his brows, he's trying to understand, but all his attempts are doomed to fail. Why? David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into this flawless, long-running mechanism. I can't watch someone suffer. Let's just say I have certain fetishes. Smirk playfully. Aha! This one. Ha! I knew it from the very beginning, doll. You clearly have a few screws loose in your head if you get pleasures from this. I won't even bother asking what those fetishes are. I just want to sleep in my coffin without any nightmares. Alright, moving on, screw this. I honestly don't care what's going on in your head. This is the most unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. He clears his throat. Thank you. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe, so I don't scare off this rare, exotic display of politeness. He says that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time of his life. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back in front of the counter. So, the client is fat, clean and healed, and yet he's still here, not putting any money on the counter, and the tip jar is lacking. If this is gonna be the second guy of the night who skips out on the tip, it's gonna end badly. Bob said the bottom shouldn't be visible. I look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead he looks lost. David is deep in thought, in that dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Are you planning to pitch a tent here? Can I do anything else for you, sir? Have you decided to eat me after all? This isn't the best place to crash, buddy. There's a vampire hotel 2 blocks down. Can I do anything else for you, sir? This seemingly simple question stumps him. David frowns and looks past me for a while before responding. Yeah, you can do something. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human being in a long time. I wonder, by regular human, does he mean my extremely natural essence? I'm no vampire, werewolf, or a thieving gnome. Or does he mean my lack of a criminal record and absence of drug and alcohol dependency? Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working class person, a grey collar. Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? I don't even get a chance to respond to his jab before he follows up. Let's conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Where would you go? And we're gonna answer that question in the next part. Right? I'm stopping the gameplay here because my throat is getting sore from all this reading, okay? No more. I'm getting tired and my throat is gonna die. Right? So see you guys in part 2 of this weird gas station game.